Let's continue with our Chapter 8 test review over right triangles and trig ratios. So here's our next problem. Sine in the shape of a rhombus. So first of all, I'm going to put a rhombus up here. Where are you? There we go. Here's our rhombus. And it says that it has 9 centimeter sides and has a 60-degree angle. So what they're really getting at is if I were to drop a line right here, this angle right in here would be 60. Now they would like us to find the area of this. And I'm going to mark all these sides 9. So first of all, remember to do the shape rhombus, do area with it. It is base times height. Now base isn't an issue. We know that that's 9. Our problem is we don't know this height. So I'm going to pull this triangle off for just a second in hopes of making some sense out of this triangle that we have. Give me 1 second. Let me flip this. Flip. Okay, so here's my triangle. This is 60. This is 30. This is 9. And this is my h that I'm trying to find. Now, just as a reminder, in a 30, 60, 90 triangle, this side over here stands for 2s, which means that s basically has to be 4.5. Which means that this side right here where the h is at, that's going to have to be 4.5 square root of 3. Following that basic outline of the 30, 60, 90 triangle, which means this is going to be 4.5 square root of 3. So 9 times 4.5 square root of 3. So remember in this one they want it to the nearest tenth, so we're actually physically typing all of this in, and then we end up on this one getting, there's my mouse, 70.1, which means that my answer is A. Okay, on this one, let me move this down a little bit more so you can see it. They would like us to go through and find the tangent for both y and z. Now, because they're two different angles, I'm going to go through and redraw this triangle. So I can have one of these that's going to be a focus for y. So if this is a focus of y, opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. And on this one, z is going to be my focus angle, which means opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. So on the first one, to do the tangent of y, opposite over adjacent. Then the tangent of z is going to be opposite over adjacent. So if I'm looking at all of these values up here, C is going to be my answer. Okay, now on these, we could either use 30, 60, 90, or we can go ahead and try to use sine, cosine, or tangent, or whatever it is that we can get. So on this one, opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. So if I was trying to find out of this SOHCAHTOA stuff that I was doing, if I wanted to use that instead, I don't have a hypotenuse, so I can't use these two. But I have opposite and I have adjacent, so tangent it is. So tangent is opposite over adjacent. So the tangent of 30 equals x over 7. So x equals 7 times the tangent of 30. So if I were to put this in my calculator, remember to the nearest tenth, so I'm physically putting it in there. That means I end up with 4.0, which means your answer is D. Okay, next one. Same kind of thing. I'm going to put my SOHCAHTOA up here. Help us narrow down which one it is. Opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. Okay, no hypotenuse, so these two are out. So we're back to tangent again. So the tangent of 20 equals opposite over adjacent. Now remember the movie we talked about, the video that I showed you, switch these two. So x equals 9 divided by the tangent of 20. So 9 divided by the tangent of 20 is 24.7. So my answer is C. Only a few more here. Okay. Next one. Opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. Now I almost don't need to write my stuff down on this one because I can tell it's going to be tangent again. We've had several in a row that have been tangent. So the tangent of 55 equals 8.9 over x. So x equals 8.9 times the tangent of 55. So if I put this in my calculator, I end up with 12.7. So there's B. Okay, next one. Same kind of problem. Let's label our pieces. This is hypotenuse, this is adjacent, there's opposite. So if you are still doing this, I have no adjacent. So that means if there's no adjacent, none of these two. So it has to be sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So the sine of 20 equals x over 18. Remember on these ones, cross multiplying, it's just going to give us x equals 18 times the sine of 20. Which gives us 6.2. Okay, we're down to the last two. Okay, on this one, first of all, if this is 45, that also means this one's 45. And our job really is if we were to drop a line right here, they want us to be able to come up with the ordered pair that's right here. Now, in order to get that, I'd have to go negative x and positive y. So I know that when I get done, it's going to have to look like this. Okay, now remember this side's x and this side's y. So let's see, hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent. So since hypotenuse is there and we have to find both x and y, let's do sine first and then we'll do cosine. So let's see, sine of 45 degrees, opposite is y, for hypotenuse, which is 65. So y equals 65 times the sine of 45. Which gives me 45.96, yada, yada, yada. So to round this, it's going to have to be 46. So that means y is 46 up here. Which already makes me think it's got to be either B or D. Then, change color here. Let's go and find x. So now we're going to go to cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the cosine of 45 is adjacent over hypotenuse. So x is going to be 65 times the cosine of 45. So 65 times the cosine of 45 is going to give us that 46 again. Just remember when I plug it in, it's got to be negative 46. So first of all, on your sheet, you should have a negative here on this one. So your answer is going to be this one.